the prospect of a hung parliament is so exciting.
Totally.
Because it gives that whole crossbench such a bigger role.
Eyes over all those laws, more contributions and more strengthening of all that stuff that's going through, rather than these people who are being, you know, told how to vote and just putting stuff through or blocking it.
Hello everyone. This is A Piece of Kate. I'm Emma Pegram.
You sounded like a really nice teacher then.
Hello children.
Hello children. It's Mrs. Pegram, Ms. And I am Kate Hulett. This classroom assistant.
Thanks for finally telling us.
Sitting in the back.
What is it? We're recording on Thursday afternoon. And it's some number of days until the election, somewhere between 20 and 30.
I think it's 23.
Okay, let's go with that. You're usually right.
And maybe not a soul cares. So let's start from there.
How are you? Talk to me. Went to the
I know, I mean, just as you said, how are you? I'm like, what happened today? I don't even know what Today's just got gobbled up. Like a big turkey.
I mean, yesterday there was so much excitement. So
much happening
to compare.
We were here really late last night, and because we went to that brilliant talk at the town hall about the ancient rock art, the Murujuga, which was such an incredible talk.
Agreed.
I mean, the thing that remember I said made my eye pop out, my contact lens pop out the other day, was that there are 2 million rock art examples. But the thing that really struck me was that there's the first oldest human face depicted.
Yes.
Like archaic faces, 40 to 50,000 years ago. I mean, it's so, like the oldest human face depiction in the whole planet. And as far as we know, universe, you know?
Isn't it amazing?
It's just here in our state. I just cannot believe it. And then that we all know that, yet...
Well, we don't.
We are just happy for the acid that's falling from the literal sky thanks to the gas operations up there eating them away. But
yeah, it's tragedy. I feel like if more...
incredible.
I mean, it was a really big turnout last night, but I reckon if everyone heard that... those presentations from last night, I reckon, you know, we'd be rolling.
One of the guys was Professor Benjamin Smith. He's like this world-leading expert and in rock art, and just had the most incredible research, scientific research, which was really sophisticated and incredible, but the really basic stuff that he was saying is like, this is grade 10 science, as in... The government knows it's not hard to comprehend what is happening here with the acidity and so on that's destroying the rocks. And they were untouched until the 1960s. So it's really in our lifetimes that this is happening. And
totally.
we're watching it happen. Anyhow, that was a talk. It finished. We went for a drink afterwards.
You did.
I did.
Just out there having a fun time.
Well,
I'm in here now, Joe. But yeah, we were up late because we were...
and then we came back to the office,
We were working on finalising our policy platform, which is now live on our website. And we thought we'd give a bit of a, I don't know, blow-by-blow on how we go about that.
It's not going to be that boring, because that would be a boring and
not on the policy platform, but on what it looks like to
one
make.
Says, let's dig into that. I guess the origin story for the policy platform is how we got to the policies we talked about in the state campaign. And they came off the back of months and months of conversations with the community, with the Voices for Fremantle crew. And all of that data was kind of distilled and put through a sieve of what are the key points that the community care about, and they were integrity in politics, kind of the environment within which we live, and
people,
which is the biggest bucket of all, because it kind of talks about housing and cost of living and education, health, and all that sort of thing, and making sure that those people, you know, that all of those things are working well to deliver good outcomes for normal folks like us.
And when we started when we, you know, moved into the federal campaign, it was a matter of looking at like, what does that mean at the federal level? And are these things still, you know, the most important things that people care about? And I think that is being reinforced to us through every conversation we've had with people out in the community, door knocking, at events, whatever, since we launched the federal campaign, that the issues are the same, you know, that people are feeling let down by the major parties on those big things. Cost of living definitely is the biggest, I think, by far that comes through, and housing. And as you said, like it's been interesting putting together the policy platform because of how intertwined all of these issues are. And you can't treat them or think about them as, you know, isolated problems. And actually that makes researching and writing the policy and also distilling the policy into a digestible presentation for people quite a difficult job.
What the thing that does weave them all together is integrity. That's like the umbrella kind of issue, that if there was the accountability and integrity and transparency that we all hope for, you would be definitely seeing better outcomes in all of those kind of pots.
Totally. I mean, we talked about that a lot during the state campaign as well, you know, the way that you could see where we were getting bad outcomes on things like the environment or cost of living or housing, that, it was happening because there's no transparency over the way that government decisions are being made or, you know, the influence of big donors or lobbyists. And I think...
And it literally, every area that's going wonky in the country...
It's like a donor
You do a tiny little light scratch and then you're like, what a mess under there. The gambling lobby's been donating all this money, and then we've got this issue in gambling. All of the, you know, gas companies are effectively running the newspapers, and then we've got this. And it's, really fundamental. So it sounds like, it's like that, you know, when people use the word authentic, and that got so overused that now it's almost, and I find this with my business, when people use the phrase like shop local as such a throwaway term now. It has no meaning. They don't think it means businesses that are owned by local people that, you know, are very unique to place. It just means like, whatever, the local Coles or the local Myers or something. But it's, I think the word integrity is becoming a bit like that. Like, it's just, everyone kind of throws it around, but it's actually like the meaning of it is so absolutely fundamental to our politics, and the fact that we've almost entirely lost grip of it, that's where the origin of the spin out of control is
totally
happening.
So, I mean, in terms of how we actually go about then, I suppose, communicating on that problem and like what the end result is, I thought it might be interesting to give people some insight into that. And for me, at least, that's involved, you know, talking to a lot of different people who are researching, who have, you know, been working on policy writing over decades, some of them with other politicians and political parties who are increasingly frustrated with how hard it is to get good ideas and good policy over the line. Talking to experts, talking to people in the community who have lived experience, you know, like how many emails and, you know, so much input, this like just an outpouring of input from the community as soon as you announce that.
An out of in.
An out of in, exactly. But it shows how desperate people are to have a role in
it shows
policy,
so much.
You know?
One, it's like, and we keep saying this, we keep meeting all these incredible experts like the Fiona Stanley and the Bill Hare and the Peter Newman, and it's like they live right here and they feel ignored. And then we also feel ignored as normal people going around our lives. So who the hell are the government listening to? And we know when we, again, follow the money, we know who they're listening to. So big corporations who are just doing whatever they bloody well want. So we are so fortunate to have these incredible brains.
Totally.
And the fact that they're coming to us and just giving up their time for free to contribute to these policy platforms is, one, a testament to how desperate they are and how passionate they are, but also it gives us the reinforcement and the confidence that what we're talking about is good and solid and right and evidenced, and It's not just like, oh, we have this single issue or, you know, fluffy, weird stuff. You know, it's like really quite significant.
Should we talk about where we actually landed with the policy stuff?
What, the continuous scroll on the website?
Yeah.
So you just have to...
Hey, I'm listening to the people. The feedback was we couldn't find things in the drop-down menus. So, yes, it's one page of continuous scroll. I mean, it's not that long. I think most people could read it in 15 to 20 minutes. Not even, actually.
So for the 2 people that take the time to go and read it, I hope you enjoyed that 15 minutes. No, it's not. It's actually probably the most digestible and human and relatable set of priorities that you will see on a political website. I mean, I haven't looked at everyone.
We're not biased, but we really think we've done the best job out of anyone.
They're going to be the best because I'm working with the best.
The big areas that we've covered are cost of living, housing, energy, health and education and community, and our environment, and then government transparency. And there's a range of sort of policy lines under each of those kind of umbrellas, and there's some context, I suppose, some contextual information as to how we've arrived there and what we are observing and what we're hearing from people.
It's interesting because we, want to put something up that's decent and good and meaningful, recognising that so few people are actually going to read it. But it's actually, it's obviously very helpful for us and for people to get an idea of who we are and where we're, kind of sitting in the spectrum. But it's also good for all the trolls that just like, what are you policy? What are you policy? What do you stand for?
I mean, I don't want to denigrate the people in the electorate who are interested in what your policies are.
No, those people are not ever going to go on a website. They just want to...
I honestly don't think a lot of them are actually living in the electorate, to be honest.
Or living.
Or
they're robots. Let's face it. It's a bot farm. Okay.
What I was going to say is what was interesting as well about the process is like, and it's sort of what you're saying is there's a range of ways that you can go about writing policy. Like I'm speaking as an absolute non-expert here. I know nothing. But from conversations I've had with the people who were helping us do it, who have done this for a living for a long time, they were saying, there are varying degrees of detail. And as an independent, I think what's, I guess, interesting and maybe challenging in some ways is that you have to give people an understanding of what you stand for, what you see as important, what your values are and what direction you envisage for the country. And you want to show that you're, listening and reflecting other people's values. But you also want to remain open to the fact that things might change and new knowledge might come and new ideas might get, fed in as you go about your work. And that's kind of the whole idea of being an independent, that you can work with people from the community and across the political spectrum.
And of course, there's literally thousands of issues that we will never be able to touch on that are affecting people really intimately and in visceral ways. But that is for the time of when you are collecting information for the community down the track.
And of course, once you're actually working in Parliament, when you get elected, the reality of how you actually apply your policy platform depends on a lot of factors.
Totally, yeah.
And you've been doing some thinking and some researching about that.
I guess the, bills kind of come up into all the MPs.
The bills
there's hundreds of bills
they appear
that are proposed every year. A law is called a bill before it's a law. And they are mainly proposed by people in the actual government itself. So the majority currently is Labor, so they are proposing most of the bills. And mainly it's ministers that are putting those forward. So they're kind of top tier. So on the whole, I would just be reading those bills and seeing if they're good, solid, need work, rejecting them, accepting them, voting for them, voting against them and stuff.
Recommending amendments based on your community's perspective. Yeah.
And I think that there's so many that go through you kind of, some of them are so irrelevant to, they might just be an adjustment to an existing law or, some piece of legislation. The interesting thing is if you're in a main party, you are told how to vote on each of those. So you get a pager and you get a little beeped on how you will vote on all those bills as they come up. So you don't really need to read them or be over them. But of course, as an independent, you are voting on every single one. So it's your responsibility to read and take in, you or your staff, and quickly figure out what your position is on those according to your community expert advice, your values and all that. So you can also propose bills as a private member's bill, but so few of those go through because most of the time the government doesn't even, acknowledge it. It just gets voted down. But I saw maybe Helen Haynes, one of the independents, who said that the proposal that the government's just put forward about the battery subsidy she's done 2 private members' bills previously with that exact same thing. So often what's has been happening is the independents are putting forward all these ideas and working behind the scenes, and then they kind of come through eventually through the major parties.
Because they want the credit for the good policy.
Exactly. So, ultimately we are working for the greater good. I don't care about the wins in terms of my name, but I care about the wins in terms of the country. So that's great. If you've got independent candidates working on these bills and proposing them, and whether that entails just having loads of meetings with politicians from across the spectrum in order to kind of get these things into the government and to be heard and to be, implemented, fantastic. I can't think of anything better, So, yeah, that's...
influencing the agenda, putting pressure on the government on key matters.
And just bringing forward good ideas that have come from the community, from experts who are not being heard by the major parties, because perhaps they're not going to win points by doing it or, putting it forward. But more and more of the good ideas are being seeded by independent or minor party candidates. And I think or not candidates, MPs. And I think that's really exciting. And that's the opportunity.
And I mean, I feel like we've talked about this a bit, but also the reason why the prospect of a hung parliament is so exciting.
Totally.
Because it gives that whole crossbench such a bigger role.
Eyes over all those laws, more contributions and more strengthening of all that stuff that's going through, rather than these people who are being, told how to vote and just putting stuff through or blocking it, where the interest for me is not just blocking or, not reading the stuff that's coming. I'm a reader, so I am.
Big reader.
Be analysing those things. But yeah, it's pretty, it's a very exciting proposition and opportunity for the country, I think, to have those extra people.
For Fremantle.
Yeah, I mean, hell yeah, for Fremantle.
Anything else?
No, I mean, I think have a look at the policies, see what you reckon. We've had some great feedback, and glad that's done and up, and we're there. And we're still on pre-midnight last night. What happened today?
I honestly could not tell you what happened today. Oh, we bought a tree. We bought a tree for one of our beautiful volunteer team members.
This is a grade 10 out of 10 content. Okay.
I mean, we were eating breakfast this morning, and I said to you,
You're making this sound not serious. We are very serious doing serious work.
We are, but it's also fun. I mean, it's been meetings all day, I feel.
I reckon that's probably where we should end it.
Boring. Yeah, I think so.
All right, so we've got a big weekend of bits and bobs.
Yeah. We're door knocking all weekend.
Yeah.
We're dropping things in people's mailboxes over the weekend. I hope you enjoy what you get to read. We're going to the Yanchibut Farmers Market Saturday morning. You'll be there. People want to meet you, chat to you, have a laugh. Sunday afternoon, we've got our Yes We Canberra party celebrating the renunciation, the great renunciation of Kate's
2025
British passport. And we will be recording Monday morning's episode of It's a Piece of Cake. I just can't. It's a tick. We will be recording Monday morning's episode. We'll be recording Monday morning's episode of A Piece of Cake with an audience on Sunday at the event. And that's at the Spearwood Bowling Club, which I'm really excited about. And you guys should be excited about it because the room is carpeted, which means the sound is going to be really good.
Oh, unlike this echo chamber.
Correct.
And I will be walking around with a shoebox and pieces of paper and pens for you to put questions in for us to answer.
Yeah, we're going to do a little lucky dip.
We can filter out all the dodgy ones, and I can put some fake questions in. Who cuts your fringe?
Anything else? That's everything happening this weekend. We'd love to see you there. Other things you can do?
Like and subscribe. Donate on the website.
Sign up to volunteer.
To the newsletter. Sign up to volunteer. We've got new T-shirts arriving next week, and we've got lots of signs for your gardens, for your shop windows. Oh, we also have some dog outfits that are wonderful.
Wow, they even.
I'm going to say a super fan.
They have sizes.
They're all the same size.
Oh.
But it's for a small. These are different sizes.
This is size large.
Yeah, but
it's for a big dog.
They're all for quite little dogs. Anyhow, this is how. If you have visuals, I'm going to try and put it. No, I need.
You'll mess up your nice hair.
I don't know if you're being a bitch.
Absolutely sincere. That was as sincere as it gets.
It's the most wonderful thing you've ever seen. It looks like
so,
a tiny child.
Like I just the little emblem.
It's got a vote, like a golden
seal.
It says
like the one the king put on your renunciation package.
The King of England. But it also looks like the thing on a box of something from a 24-hour like call-in shop. You know what are they called?
Like an infomercial.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyhow, so we've got some of them that we'll take to the markets.
Yeah.
So if you've got a small to medium dog,
you know where to find us.
You know where to find us. Did I say it says I'm voting for Kate? Because that's what it says. I thought it said I'm barking mad for Kate. I'm sure that's
a missed opportunity. We'll have to do a second run.
Also, someone on the internet said that we should make T-shirts that say "I love you" in a professional way, and we will definitely be putting those into production.
Yeah, maybe write in if you want one, and we'll. Okay, no, we'll just print them.
Don't need more emails. Don't write in. Just think about it.
Okay, everyone. Thanks for listening. See you
tomorrow. Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.